Good morning. Magic Art Matters here. Well, as you can see, it is snowing here. This is the first snowfall in the mid-Atlantic states, Maryland, that I'm experiencing this season. And I thought it'd be a time to do a nice little episode of Walking and Talking. Just catching up with things and enjoying the nice scenery and pleasant atmosphere, cold however it may be. Anyway, this is an interesting week in terms of magic for me, filled with a highlight and a lowlight on Monday. We'll talk about that a little bit, but you might be interested in a little bit of my backstory. What brought me to the point of my dedication, as you can tell from my constant videos, dedication to talking about the art of magic. Of course, I love the game, but I've noticed for a long time that art plays such a big part in how we all enjoy the game, well, many of us, that it deserves attention. And through the course of my life, I've always had an interest in art. Like many of us, as a kid, I started out, loved to doodle, loved to draw in my notebook, probably to the detriment of my studies, but just a regular old piece of paper for my notebook and a trusty Bic pen, draw spaceship, aliens, cars, everything you can think of. Prolific drawer. It wasn't until junior high that I started to get a little bit of instruction on how to really approach this a little bit more formally with a little bit of more education. And I was lucky to have a nice teacher who really demystified drawing. In particular, we started out with exercises called contour line drawing, which is where you look at an subject, and you don't really look down at the paper. You just draw your impression of the subject in a continuous line where you don't even really look down that often or any at all, and you trace what you think might be the outline of the features, just trying to get a feel for the rhythm and the flow of the line that defines your subject. And I feel like from a very early time, my early attempts, I kind of had a knack for it. And I was actually drawing some pretty sophisticated drawings of hands pretty early on. Hands, well, why hands? Well, you always have a hand. You're never lacking a hand that you can draw. Now, if you're right-handed, you set your pose as your left hand. And you say, well, let's draw this. So I became comfortable doing that and had a lot of fun doing it. So it wasn't, let's skip forward a couple decades. And I don't know if any of you know this, but by profession, I'm an aerospace engineer. I grew up in the era of the moon shots to the moon, part of the Apollo program. This captivated the nation and really motivated me. And so when it was time to pick a major, I chose aerospace engineering, not knowing how hard it was going to be and what an effort it was going to take to accomplish that as a degree. But I did, and I'm so glad I did. That education was the best investment I've ever made in myself, and I got a high quality, top-notch engineering degree from the University of Maryland. I'm forever grateful for the opportunity that state institution gave me. I loved being an aerospace engineer, had many really great programs and projects that I worked on. My first of which was working on the space shuttle. That was exciting. My job was first stage ascent, guidance, navigation, and control. So that's when the first 120 seconds of the flight are being under the power of the solid rocket boosters before they separate. Then second stage takes over. But first job out of school, wow, that was exciting. You get to walk around the factory floor and see shuttles being built. That was fantastic. Time went on, went to work on the B-2 bomber in Pico Rivera, California, and again, that's a story unto itself. But for a young aerospace engineer, working on things like that is really highly exciting. I could compare it, I guess, to what it must be like to be working on anything that's being built by SpaceX, for example. Now, I follow Elon Musk and his adventures in space keenly. He's just a genius, and what he's doing with the booster recovery, reusable ships is incredible. Anyway, I had a great career, enjoyed it very much. There comes a point in time now, and this is a little bit mid-career for me, I guess. The bureaucracy kind of catches up with you, and if you know how to do good systems engineering, which is my specialty, sometimes that's at odds with management. They're not always necessarily interested in investing in the best systems engineering, even if it would benefit the customer and even the contractor as a wise investment of engineering hours to create a better product. Sometimes it's just do what this part of the contract says and charge your hours and everything will be great. That can be frustrating at times if you know that there's better ways to do things. And this is a mid-career kind of revelation to me that maybe I wasn't always going to be an aerospace engineer. At which point I said, well, what else am I interested in? And I was really harkened back to my interest in art. And since I lived in Southern California, I knew that we were very close to the center of the feature animation industry, primarily Walt Disney feature animation at the time. So I set a goal for myself to maybe make a career transition. And what that entails is to be an artist for Disney, you really have to make sure that you have a very good life drawing portfolio. You have to spend many hours, take many classes, sitting in the studio with a live model, nude, understanding the human form, learning how to render it in charcoal on newsprint paper. And it's a very, very rewarding time in my life where I got to actually make a lot of progress on studying that. And here's an aside. The beauty of art, if you admire it from a distance and you have any interest in doing it yourself, really, it is within reach for everybody. It's just a matter of dedicating yourself to a daily practice. And you can start small with simple shapes, because nothing cannot be drawn without simple shapes and learning how to apply light to those simple shapes. That turns them into volumes that we talked about so many times. Volumes in space, cubes, parallelograms, shown in perspective to create building blocks of the human form, anything for that matter. So, I studied, worked on my portfolio, and in fact, my portfolio got good enough that I was offered the opportunity to take a test to become an in-betweener for the project at Disney called Hercules. Now, unfortunately, this is what they don't tell you while you're studying life drawing, is that the test for in-betweening is totally different than life drawing skills. Life drawing is essential, but that just shows that you understand form, the basics of drawing, and have accomplished results good enough for their standards. But in-betweening itself is a separate kind of a skill. It's a highly precise drafting skill where you're breathing life into drawings between drawings that have been handed down to you. You're not drawing the key poses that the lead animator does. You are drawing the drawings between that the assistant animator hands down to you. And by the time it gets down to you, you're expected to make a perfectly executed, clean drawing. It's called cleanup. This is what gets photographed. And when it was in the days of traditional animation, that's photographed, and that becomes the image that's projected in the movie theater. So unfortunately, while I got the test, I didn't pass the test, wasn't offered a job, but just the accomplishment of getting offered was good enough for me for the time. Anyway, I think that this might deserve a part 2. Before I do that, though, I want to talk to you about the highs and lows of my week in Magic. As you know, if you follow these things and are interested in MagicCons, MagicCon Las Vegas 2026 badges went on sale on Monday. And this is a great time. My friends spread across the country. A lot of times this is the way we get together now that we've gone to different parts of the country. So very excited. Now my friends, normally I've been to many MagicCons, Grand Prix, festivals. But when it comes to Las Vegas, you've got to really have a game plan for purchasing your tickets, because it's competitive to get the highest level of access, which is the Black Lotus VIP. And my friends normally shoot for that level just because of the product and the access that you get, plus the discount. So come 1 o'clock Eastern time, that was the goal. And despite some glitches and some problems with the website, I don't like that website too much, I actually got a ticket to MagicCon Las Vegas 2026, but it's better than that. I bought a Mythic bundle, so I already have my access to Las Vegas. I'll also be going to Amsterdam, and later in the year to Atlanta. I went to Las Vegas and Atlanta last year on the premium weekend and had a lot of fun. But anyway, that's the high. Got the ticket. The low is that on the very same day, prior to this, I had applied to be a creator, get a creator access badge to Las Vegas because of this channel and how much fun I'm having with it, the interaction I'm getting with people like you who are watching if you've made it this far. I wanted to get a creator badge because it gives me a chance to interact with you on a different level with different kind of support from wizards, including meet and greets and product support, and it's just a different kind of experience. Unfortunately, so this is the low, unfortunately on that same afternoon that I got the Mythic bundle, I found out that I was not selected to receive a creator pass this time, but it's all going to work out for the best. Excuse me. It's all going to work out for the best because I still have the Black Lotus level of access that I'm going to be able to spending a lot of time with my friends, and I'm already excited for it. Of course, I'll be nothing changes for me, whether I have the creator badge or not. I'm going to be doing exactly the same thing. And although I'm disappointed, I don't know why they overlooked my application, but I think what I'm doing here is unique. No one else is doing it, and I really think it would have been great to have it, but not the end of the world. I'm going to keep doing these things, reviewing new sets, and I'm going to have a lot of things to say about Las Vegas as it approaches. Also the cards and sets in between now and then, particularly Lowlight and Eclipsed. Anyway, this is a long story. I wanted to give you a little bit of my background there. Backstory, make myself accessible to you in terms of understanding my path to get to where I'm at. And I hope you enjoyed this. I hope also that you'll take a moment to leave a comment, say hello, and as always, keep playing with your friends. Enjoy this game. It's enriched so many lives, and keep appreciating the art. Train your eye to understand what's good about the art that you love, and if you don't like something, maybe you understand there's something about the execution. That is the mission here. Understanding, appreciating the art of magic. That's why I do Magic Art Matters. Bye-bye.